Hello, welcome to World of Microbes. This is the second part of the circulatory system. In the previous video we had an overview of circulatory system and discussed the heart in details. In this video we will discuss about blood, its components, types as well as conditions and disorders in detail. Blood is an essential fluid, constantly flowing and keeping your body working. It carries oxygen and nutrients to your body's tissues, and it removes waste your body doesn't need. The blood that runs through the veins, arteries, and capillaries is known as whole blood, a mixture of about 55% plasma and 45% blood cells. About 7% to 8% of your total body weight is blood. An average-sized man has about 12 pints of blood in his body, and an average-sized woman has about 9 pints. It has 4 parts. Plasma is the liquid part of blood that carries blood cells throughout your body. Red blood cells carry oxygen to your body cells. White blood cells fight infections. Platelets form blood clots to help stop the bleeding if you're injured. These basic parts are the same no matter your blood type. The most common blood types are A, B, AB, and O. The main function of blood is to transport nutrients and oxygen and eliminate wastes from the cells of the body. The various other functions of blood are the distribution of heat, defense, and maintaining homeostasis. The food we consume has nutrients that are absorbed in the digestive tract. Most of the nutrients directly pass from the bloodstream to the liver, which is processed and released into the bloodstream to deliver to the cells of the body. Oxygen diffuses into the blood that moves from the lungs to the heart, which then is pumped to the entire body. Responds to broken blood vessels, coagulation, converting blood from liquid to a semisolid gel that stops bleeding. Blood platelets and some of the proteins that are dissolved in plasma interact to produce clots blocking the ruptured sites of blood vessels when the vessels get damaged, leading to bleeding. Hence, the body is prevented from any further loss of blood. There are different forms of WBCs protecting from exterior threats such as the pathogenic bacteria which enter the bloodstream in a wound. Various other WBCs find and destroy the internal threats like the cells having mutated DNA, which can grow and multiply to become carcinogenic, or even the body cells infected with the viruses. Additionally, the blood picks the byproducts and cellular wastes too, and passes them to different structures to be eliminated. The body temperature is regulated through the negative feedback loop. When blood passes through the vessels of the skin, heat can be dissipated to the environment and the blood getting back to the body can be cooler. On the contrary, on a colder day, blood gets diverted from the skin to preserve a warmer tone. If conditions are extreme, it can lead to frostbite. Also, blood aids in maintaining the balance of chemicals in the body. The pH of tissues is regulated by the buffers found in the blood, such as proteins and associated compounds. Further, blood also aids in regulating the water content of the cells. The heart pumps blood through a vast network of arteries and veins. Blood is a living fluid. It transports oxygen and other essential substances throughout the body, fights sickness, and performs other vital functions. There are 8 important facts about blood. 1. Blood is fluid connective tissue. Blood is composed of 55% plasma and 45% formed elements, including red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Because of these living cells suspended in the plasma, blood is considered a fluid connective tissue, not a fluid. It is the only fluid tissue in the body. 2. Blood provides the body cells with oxygen and removes carbon dioxide. Blood absorbs oxygen from air in the lungs. It transports the oxygen to cells throughout the body, and it removes waste carbon dioxide from the cells. In the lungs, the carbon dioxide moves from the blood to the air and is exhaled. 3. Blood transports nutrients and hormones. Blood plays a large role in digestion and endocrine system functions. Digested nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream through capillaries in the villi that line the small intestine. These nutrients include glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and fatty acids. Blood also transports some hormones secreted by endocrine system glands to target organs and tissues. 4. Blood regulates body temperature. Blood absorbs and distributes heat throughout the body. It helps to maintain homeostasis through the release or conservation of warmth. Blood vessels expand and contract when they react to outside organisms, such as bacteria, and to internal hormone and chemical changes. These actions move blood and heat closer to or farther from the skin surface, where heat is lost. 5. Platelets clot blood at sites of injury. When a blood vessel tears, platelets and plasma proteins work together to stop blood loss. Platelets, also called thrombocytes, clump and form a plug in the damaged area. The proteins form threads called fibrins to complete the platelet plug, or clot. 6. Blood brings waste products to the kidneys and liver. Blood transports waste substances to the organs that remove and process them for elimination. Blood flows into the kidneys through the renal arteries and out through the renal veins. The kidneys filter substances such as urea, uric acid, and creatinine out of the blood plasma and into the ureters. The liver also removes toxins from blood. During digestion, it cleans blood that has been enriched with vitamins before sending it back out to the rest of the body. 7. Red blood cells are the most numerous living cells in blood. Blood is 55% plasma and 45% formed elements. Red blood cells, also called erythrocytes, make up most of that 45%. Their primary function is to transport oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body. Red blood cells are disc-shaped. They are flexible and bioconcave, flat and round with depressed centers. 8. White blood cells protect the body from pathogens. The many types of white blood cells in blood. White blood cells, also called leukocytes, are the disease-fighting components of blood. They account for just 1% of circulating blood but multiply during infection or inflammation. There are 5 types of white blood cells: neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, and monocytes. Neutrophils are the most abundant, comprising 60% to 70% of all white blood cells. Blood cells are primarily produced in the bone marrow, which is the soft, spongy tissue in the center of bones, particularly in the pelvis, sternum, ribs, and vertebrae. This process, called hematopoiesis, produces red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets from stem cells, mainly in the red marrow. It makes about 95% of the body's blood cells. Most of the adult body's bone marrow is in the pelvic bones, breastbone, and the bones of the spine. There are other organs and systems in our bodies that help regulate blood cells. The lymph nodes, spleen, and liver help regulate the production, destruction, and differentiation, developing a specific function, of cells. Your blood, like your red blood cells, is red. It's bright red when it's leaving your heart and filled with oxygen. It's more of a dull brick red when it's running low on oxygen and making the return trip back to your heart for more. Blood flows throughout your circulatory system. Your heart pumps blood to blood vessels that move blood throughout your body. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from your heart to your body's tissues. Veins carry oxygen-poor blood from your body's tissues back to your heart. Capillaries carry blood between your arteries and veins. Now we will talk about the components of blood and their importance. Blood is mostly fluid, but it also contains cells and proteins that make it, literally, thicker than water. The average adult male has about 5 liters, 10.5 pints, of blood. Females have about 4 liters, 8.5 pints. Blood makes up about 8% of your body weight. Plasma makes up about 55% of your blood. Red blood cells make up about 44% of your blood. White blood cells and platelets make up about 1% of your blood. Plasma, also known as blood plasma, appears light yellowish or straw-colored. It serves as the liquid base for whole blood. Whole blood minus erythrocytes, RBCs, leukocytes, WBCs, and thrombocytes, platelets, make up the plasma. This fluid makes up a little over half of your blood's total volume. Other blood cells, like red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, mix in with the plasma, which carries them to every corner of your body. Plasma is about 92% water. Proteins, antibodies, coagulation factors, albumin, and fibrinogen make up another 7% of it. The other 1% is hormones, vitamins, water, salt, enzymes, and other important compounds. Plasma and serum are liquid components of blood, with the primary difference being that plasma contains clotting factors, fibrinogen, while serum does not. Plasma is obtained by adding an anticoagulant to blood, whereas serum is the remaining liquid after blood has clotted. Starting with whole blood, if an anticoagulant is added immediately after collection, then coagulation is prevented and all components are kept in suspension. If you just leave this blood sample alone without mixing, then all the components will settle out. The heavier cells will sink to the bottom. This results in a clear liquid at the top. This clear upper layer is plasma, which is essentially all the components of blood minus the cells. Under centrifugation, a layer of white cells called the buffy coat forms between the plasma and red blood cells. Plasma retains fibrinogen. If we don't add any anticoagulant, then the clotting factors promote clot formation. These clots, which contain fibrinogen as a clotting agent, efficiently remove red blood cells from the plasma as a solid mass. Serum forms a larger percentage of blood than plasma and is most widely used in research. This is, at least in part, because it removes the unwanted red blood cells more efficiently, generating more volume per unit of blood. Plasma and serum are liquid components of blood, with the primary difference being that plasma contains clotting factors, fibrinogen, while serum does not. Plasma is obtained by adding an anticoagulant to blood, whereas serum is the remaining liquid after blood has clotted. Plasma doesn't really come from a specific place. Instead, it forms when water in your body combines with electrolytes you absorb through your digestive tract. Some of the important proteins that go into plasma come from specific organs or places, though. They include your bone marrow, degenerating, older blood cells, liver, spleen. Once those proteins combine with the electrolyte-rich liquid, you have plasma. Plasma is a pale, yellowish or straw-colored liquid when you separate it from red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. Your plasma can be different colors if you have a condition that affects what's in the plasma. For example, if you have red blood cells breaking down, hemolysis, your plasma might look pinkish. If you have high bilirubin levels and jaundice from a liver condition, your plasma may look greenish or brownish. What proteins are in plasma? Plasma contains several proteins, including albumin. This protein helps maintain the balance between the fluid inside your cells and the plasma outside it. That keeps plasma from leaking through to other tissues. Fibrinogen. This protein helps your body form clots and then repair tissues, turning those clots into healthy tissues or scar tissue. Globulins. These proteins help fight off infections, transporting things in the bloodstream and assisting with blood clotting. Other immune and transport proteins. These proteins can help your body defend itself, repair damage, or carry nutrients or vital compounds to other places inside your body. You can separate blood components, including plasma, using a tool called a centrifuge. This machine spins a tube full of blood very fast. That creates a gravity-like effect that pulls heavier red blood cells to the bottom of the tube. Atop the red blood cells is a whitish layer of platelets and white blood cells. And above that whitish layer is the plasma. Diseases and conditions that affect blood plasma, the liquid component of blood, generally involve protein imbalances, clotting deficiencies, or immune system dysfunction. Key conditions include plasma cell disorders like multiple myeloma and amyloidosis, clotting factor deficiencies such as hemophilia and von Willebrand disease, and immune deficiencies. Common conditions affecting plasma. Plasma cell disorders, plasma cell dyscrasias. These occur when abnormal plasma cells, a type of white blood cell, produce high levels of a single, non-functional antibody, M protein, leading to serious health issues. Multiple myeloma, a cancer of plasma cells that disrupts blood cell production and affects bone marrow, leading to anemia and immune dysfunction. Monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance, MGUS, a common, often asymptomatic precursor condition where M protein is present. Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia, a rare cancer where B cells produce excessive amounts of IgM antibodies, which can make the plasma too thick, hyperviscosity. Amyloidosis, AL amyloidosis, a condition where abnormal plasma cells produce proteins that misfold and build up in tissues and organs, disrupting their function. Clotting disorders. These arise when plasma lacks the necessary proteins, clotting factors, for blood coagulation, hemophilia A and B. Hereditary disorders caused by deficiencies in clotting factors 8A or 9B, leading to excessive bleeding, von Willebrand disease, the most common inherited bleeding disorder caused by a deficiency or dysfunction of von Willebrand factor, VWF, which is vital for platelet adhesion. Immune and protein deficiencies. Immunodeficiency are hypogammaglobulinemia, insufficient levels of antibodies, immunoglobulins, in the plasma, which severely limits the body's ability to fight infection. Low plasma protein levels, often linked to liver or kidney disease, where the body cannot produce or retain essential proteins like albumin. Other related conditions. Thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura, TTP, a rare disorder causing blood clots, thrombi, to form in small blood vessels throughout the body, often due to a deficiency of the ADAMTS13 enzyme, which is responsible for breaking down von Willebrand factor. Plasma cell pododermatitis, a condition often noted in veterinary contexts rather than human pathology. Abnormal plasma cells, characteristic of conditions like multiple myeloma, cause symptoms primarily through bone marrow overcrowding and damage to bones and kidneys. Common signs include persistent bone pain, spined ribs, fatigue, frequent infections, unexpected weight loss, and high calcium levels. These issues are often summarized by the acronym CRAB. Key symptoms of abnormal plasma cells include bone pain and damage, persistent pain, frequently in the back, hips, or ribs, caused by tumor growth, anemia, low red blood cells fatigue, weakness, dizziness, and shortness of breath, immune system dysfunction, frequent or serious infections due to a lack of healthy white blood cells, kidney issues, damaged by high levels of abnormal protein, resulting in fatigue, nausea, or swelling in feet and hands, hypercalcemia, high calcium, high blood calcium, leading to constipation, confusion, and excessive thirst, neurological changes, weakness or numbness in the limbs, sometimes caused by nerve damage or spinal cord compression. Several blood tests can check your plasma for signs of a medical condition. Some of these include blood volume testing measures the amount of blood in your body compared to what is considered normal. This test is most often done in people who are in intensive care with conditions such as kidney, liver, or heart failure. Blood volume testing helps providers assess the severity of these conditions and make appropriate treatment decisions. Healthcare providers may use this test during critical care of people with blood loss, dehydration, heart failure, kidney or liver failure, serious burns, shock. Other reasons providers might use blood volume testing include assessing anemia, determining the cause of fainting, syncope, evaluating high blood pressure or low blood pressure, orthostatic hypertension, pre-surgical screening. A bone marrow biopsy is a procedure that involves removing a sample of bone marrow and testing it for signs of disease. Your healthcare provider may perform a biopsy to diagnose blood disorders, cancer, and many other conditions that may affect your bone marrow. The procedure lasts around 30 minutes and doesn't usually involve a hospital stay. Your provider may perform a bone marrow biopsy to diagnose conditions involving too many or too few blood cells. Bone marrow biopsies may also be used to diagnose cancers affecting your blood or bone marrow. A complete blood count, CBC, is a blood test that measures amounts and sizes of your red blood cells, hemoglobin, white blood cells, and platelets. A provider can use it to monitor and diagnose medical conditions and check on the health of your immune system. Infections, medications, anemia, and cancer can cause abnormal results. A hematocrit test is a simple blood test that measures the percentage of red blood cells in your blood. Red blood cells are important because they carry oxygen throughout your body. High hematocrit levels are a sign of erythrocytosis. Low hematocrit levels are a sign of anemia. Providers use this information to diagnose conditions. The treatments for plasma disorders depend mainly on the disorders themselves. Some examples of treatments include antibiotics for infections, blood transfusions for blood loss or other issues, chemotherapy and stem cell transplants for cancers, convalescent plasma to give you extra antibodies to help you fight an infection, electrolyte solution infusions for dehydration or other conditions, plasma infusion to replace lost plasma and boost your blood pressure so you don't go into shock, plasmapheresis or plasma exchange to remove something from your plasma or replace the plasma entirely, platelet-rich plasma injections for certain injuries or diseases, steroids for inflammatory conditions. We will discuss about other blood components in the next parts of videos in this channel. Please do like and subscribe.